Alrighty, thanks again for joining me. And this is the card I was telling you about. This is a multi-occasion card. The sentiment that I have put on here is sending heartfelt thoughts. And there are two other sentiments in this stamp set. And they say thinking of you and a real pretty thank you. And they all have this beautiful cursive handwriting. So very nice touch. The name of the stamp is called Heartfelt Blooms, and this is what the stamp set looks like. And I purchased it as a clear mount, and that means it's a red rubber stamp that gets mounted to a clear acrylic block. And can you see the detail on the flowers? It's really, really pretty. It has a lot of depth to it. So that's the stamp set. I'm going to set that over here. And the way we achieve this card, it opens horizontally. The way we achieve this card is we're going to layer our different cardstocks. And before we adhere them, our white ones we're going to stamp. And then what happens is you just layer it on top and it looks like each one is framed. So I'll show you how we do that. The measurements for the card, we have a standard card base, which is 5.5 by 4 1/4. And I got that by cutting a 8.5 by 11 in half, and then on the lengthwise, and then folding it, and that gives you the card. So the measurements that are for the add-ons, we have this is colors called Flirty Flamingo. One of my favorites. It's in color from 2017 to 2019. And once again, it's Flirty Flamingo. It's a peachy pink. I really like it. It's a very flirty color. And that one is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then the large white one is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. I'm going to set that down here because we're going to stamp on that one. The next layer of Flirty Flamingo is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. And then there's a white layer after that is 4 5/8 by 3 3/8. So you can see we're going down like a 1/4 inch each time. The Flirty Flamingo that goes on the top here is 4 3/8 by 3 1/8. And then the white one that goes on the very top is 4 1/8 by 2 7/8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up, and I like using my grid lines to make sure that I'm nice and straight whenever I'm doing this. And then I'm going to put this on here with an equal amount showing on all 4 sides, and then the same thing with the top layer. And I think that looks pretty good, maybe up just a skosh. Okay, so now the important part is you want to keep it in this position. Now, if that means you need to put some tape on it to do that, then you want to put something that's repositionable. So that is an option too. I think I can get it done with just trying to keep my table in non-rocking it. Okay, so this is the Flirty Flamingo stamp pad, and this is the stamp, and I know you can't see all the detail on here, but you will when I stamp it. And I think I've mentioned to you before that whenever I have a big stamp like this, I like to turn it over and do the stamp pad right down onto the stamp, and that gives me, I think, a little bit more pressure that I can put on there. And I just do my tap, tap, taps. And you can look and see if it's pretty well covered, which it looks like it is. I'm going to do 3 of these. I like to go off the edges, so that I'm going to press down. And whenever you do your stamping, you want to go straight down and straight up. I like to leave it on the paper for about 5 seconds. Now, I didn't tape mine down, so I'm going to hold this corner when I lift it up. And then I'm going to stamp the second one. And the second one I'm going to do this way. Now, I did my first one whenever I tried the stamp. I just did it in the center, and that looked real pretty. You wouldn't have to even have the multi-layers. You can just put that on the card, and it would make a very pretty card. So this is our third one. And this one, I'm going to put the flat side along the edge there. Oops, I'm going to get my name all dirty here. That's okay. Okay. Press down, make sure you're getting all three of those layers. And you can see that you have the on the edges there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close up my stamp pad. And I am going to grab my adhesive. I don't seem to see it here on my desk for some reason. So I'm going to go grab that, and I will be right back. Okay, here I am back. And actually my fast fuse was right here on the table. Go figure. I went and got my multi-adhesive. You could use either. I probably prefer the fast fuse. They both stick equally well, and you want something that holds real well. I think the fast fuse has a little less bulk to it. And since we're actually going to have 7 layers on this, I think limiting our bulk a little bit is important. So the next thing you want to do is you want to start and adhere your pieces. Now this is going to go like this, so I'm going to turn it over and give that a little check. And check. Flip that over. When I put layers on like this, I like to look at the catty corners here. And I figure if they're even, the card's going to go down even. And then next we have one of the Flirty Flamingo layers. And probably would only need 2 strips of tape on here, but I like stuff to stay. Okay, so whoops. You got a couple minute leeway to pull that up if you make a goof. Gotta act quick. So this is going on, again, looking at those 2 corners, like so. And then we have the next layer. And this is Whisper White cardstock. You don't want to use the heavy duty cardstock because of the bulk involved in all the layers together. But boy, what a nice touch this is on a card. I just think it's so pretty. And you can use this technique on any card and any stamp. I've seen it, another demonstrator had a sample of a Father's Day card, and she had stamped some old antique cars on here. There was 3 of them, and I think she had a dark brown color as her base color. Probably not Flirty Flamingo, but it was a cute card. And you know, again, I like to be able to have multi-uses on my sets. So let's find out some center of this, and there you go. Now, what I did on my card was I did a little banner with the sentiment, sending heartfelt thoughts. I'm going to use the thank you this time. And I used black stamp pad. I used the Memento ink pad. And I have pretty good luck with the Memento, so I'm going to use that. And the T's down at this end. So let's try and get this straight on here. Isn't that beautiful? I think that this script is so lovely. I'm going to have to find out what it is because I think I'd like to have it on my computer too. I forgot to mention the banner is 3.5 by 1 inch. And what I use to make my banner tail, my fish tail, is our triple banner punch. And this is a handy little gadget. It's called a triple banner because it has 3 different sizes. And what happens is you put your, whatever size you're using, this is the 1 inch, it's going to go right down in the middle. And then, boom, you have a nice fishtail. It's nice and even. And you can use the 1 inch, 1.5, and 2-inch wide. So you have, it's very versatile that way too. And of course, if you want, you got a little piece of, a little house to put on another card. I always like using my scraps, what can I say? I'm a thrifty gal. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this with dimensionals. Dimensionals are adhesive that has a little bit of height to it, so it comes up off the paper. And it's nice because it's not too high. It doesn't put too much height on the piece that you're adhering it to and make it look out of place. It's just a nice subtle height. It really is a good choice. I've used several different ones, and this, you know, is my favorite. Okay, so this is gonna go, I guess it would help if I put it on the card, wouldn't it? Let's get this on here. And you can decide which direction you want to go because, you know, it's a very simple design. It can go horizontal or vertical. Now, this one is a real tight fit to the actual card base, so you don't have a lot of white sticking out. So you just want to try and get that as even as possible. Now this one I did horizontal. I'm going to do this one vertical. So I like to put it where there's a gap in the flower. If I put it down here, it's going to cover the flower, so I think I'm going to put it here. I like to take it over to the edge of the Flirty Flamingo, the outside one, and put that on like so. So there's your card. Isn't that great? And this stamp set is perfect for this because it has such a big, bold floral. Now, you could use it, like I said before, by itself. You wouldn't have to do this multi-layering technique. But this is what we end up with. We have a horizontal, a vertical, and I also experimented and did one in Pool Party. And I think that turned out very well too. Flirty Flamingo and Pool Party are two of my favorite colors. They really go good together if you can look at that. And you could do multiple color flowers on here. That'd be pretty for spring. There's just, you can be as creative as your mind will wander. Mine wanders pretty far sometimes. So that's my cards for today. Thank you for joining me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, whichever way's up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll get updates whenever new videos are posted. And I'd love to have you join me. I do workshops regularly. I do a workshop in the mail. And as I mentioned before, I do have a paper tutorial on this set. If you would like to get that, just message me in the box below, and I'd be happy to do that. You can visit my blog and my Stampin' Up! Store at www.suestapp.stampinup.net. And I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I get the fun of being able to create and have fun and learn new techniques. And we have a group of ladies that are great fun to work with. I've made a lot of new friends. Being relatively new to this area, I found it wonderful to make so many great friends. So, these are our cards today. Thanks for joining me. I think I said that about 20 times now, but I really do appreciate you. So, have a great day and happy stamping. I'll see you soon.